Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Goaltending, where your why is bigger than your excuses. Today, we have a very special guest, Ben McCormick, to talk about golf and the correlation to goals between the two. Recently had a guys' golf trip together. It kind of inspired this topic where I was like, man, everything we're doing in the game of golf can tie to and be related to goals specifically in some
Yeah,
way. And
absolutely.
we started geeking out on it, talking about little pieces of how they relate. So first, Ben, will you just tell us a little bit about like your background with golf?
Yeah. So it all started, I guess, I started playing golf when I was 13. Um, Played high school golf team and everything, and then kind of went on to play in college at down in Myrtle Beach. Got a degree in business, more on the golf side. After that, became the head golf professional at a course here in Taylorsville. Worked there for 6 seasons doing golf instruction, really just running the ins and outs of the business. And then after that, moved on to more the retail side of golf, doing club fitting, stuff like that. More, I enjoy teaching, but I was able to use everything that this retail store had to offer as far as fitting and
Mm-hmm.
getting people set into the right clubs. So, let's see, it's 2025. Been playing for 24 years now,
All
something
right.
like that.
Yeah.
So, played junior tournaments growing up, played some USGA events, tried to qualify for the US Open, Kentucky Open, played in that. So, some accolades,
Yeah. Yeah.
didn't necessarily perform as well as I like to, but yeah, I've just been around the game for a long time now. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
So there's a lot of experience to bring out there. You said it's
yeah,
about 24 years,
yeah,
and so that's going to make it where we can just draw a lot of great points. I'm not the most well versed in the game of golf. I love to play, but that's why I wanted to bring in somebody who really knows the game, so we can draw these correlation points. So first, let's just go to the place of when we decided we're going to go on this golf
hmm
trip.
yeah,
We're like, all right, we're going to play this specific course. I guess I can say it. I mean,
yeah.
free promo for them, but we played Sequoia.
Sequoia National.
Yeah.
It's in Whittier, North Carolina.
Hmm.
Just hour to, well, what was it? It was only 20 miles, but it took an hour to
Right.
get there from Gatlinburg. But no, it's in my easily top five courses.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. Crazy layout. It's just cut out of the hills of North Carolina, and it's just so
Hmm.
scenic and beautiful. And the conditions are excellent. Staff was excellent.
Yeah.
Couldn't really ask for a better, especially a better first round to a golf
Right.
trip, I would say. So
They kicked the trip off right, but there was some things that stood out to me where I'm drawing this correlation between goals and golf.
mm.
When we decided we're going to play this course, you all are like, "Hey guys, check out the flyover of the course." Like you
yeah,
all got to see. So I'm not this guy. I can go out and play some for fun, but I'm not great. But I mean, you all are like, "Hey, check out the flyover." I've watched it
hmm
like 5 times already.
hmm
Like this is my approach to this hole. Tell me a little bit about that initial process. And we're like, "All right, we're gonna play this course." Your initial thinking behind planning for the course.
Well, I think it started with like, are we gonna have a bet? So for me, in golf, I try to, especially if I'm going to play a super serious round, I want to be prepared for it. Especially like it isn't like I could get down there to
Mhm.
play a practice round and have all this secret info,
Oh yeah.
on top, over you guys. But so this day and age, I mean, especially a lot of the nicer courses are going to have their flyovers of the course. You'll be able to see the scorecard with course rating and the length of holes and all of this stuff. So for me, if I'm going in to prepare for a round, um, you can even get on like Google Earth and like put where you tee off from and then point to where you want to hit it to. And then it
Oh
gives you how far. So
dang.
like there's levels to it of how,
Right.
how deep in the weeds you want to get. But for me, usually it's just if I can watch a flyover, And even watching it, I was like, oh, this hole looks a little tight. This one's straight downhill.
Mm-hmm.
Probably don't need to hit as much club off of that hole.
Yeah.
And then good old YouTube, there's a couple, golf YouTubers that had played there. So I watched their rounds maybe more times than I like to admit, just to see how they played the course. So, it was just more of having all the information to at least prepare yourself for what you're going to be looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that, you might show up and not be hitting the ball well. So then you kind of got to adapt on the fly, but at least having as much information as you can to hopefully be able to make correct decisions when it's time to hit a golf ball.
Hey, so early on when you're going toward a goal, like one of the things I talk about is you gotta check your pockets. You gotta identify the knowledge, skills, resources that are available based on what you know.
Yes.
And so the thing with golf, and all of the resources we have available is like there's a whole lot where you can be like, other people have played this course.
Mm-hmm.
So I have ways to learn from their approach or what they learn from the course. I can watch different YouTube videos that have information about the course, about different holes, about how I'm going to approach this. There are specific planning tools like using Google Earth and how I want to shoot on this hole. All of these things, before you even get toward taking the action, actually playing the game, actually going towards your goal, all of the planning that you can do up front.
Yep.
And another thing you said, there's different levels to this. When you're going for a goal, like kind of based on your experience and your knowledge and your skills, kind of determines how you're going to go toward that goal and how detailed you can get in the planning.
Absolutely. You can be, for me, it's how aggressive can I be on, if it's a short par 4, right? I'm like, I could probably drive this hole, but then my brain goes to what's around that. So if I don't hit the perfect shot, I have out of bounds left, or there's a big bunker that's like super deep. And then is that going to be an even a harder second shot for me to get on the green? Whereas if I would have just played it, more conservatively, I'm going to get on that green in regulation and get out of there with my par. So it's all about that risk reward. And if you have, and if you believe in your skill set enough to take that risk for the reward, is how I look at it. So there's definitely times that sometimes it's not worth it. And then other times it's absolutely worth it. So it's all, I think, dependent. If I were to correlate it to a goal versus golf hole, it would be, is this goal or this golf hole worth really going after it? Or is there a different approach that I can still get the same result that I'm looking for?
Right.
But is there a little bit more methodical way of getting there? Instead of just going, we're going for it, So, and once again, it kind of all comes down to preparation and mental focus on that stuff.
Man, there's a lot of cool pieces just from that risk tolerance. Like people have different levels of risk tolerance, right? So when you're going toward a goal, how much risk am I willing to take? Now, skill comes into play. When you're looking at a hole, you're like, this is par 4. I could probably drive that. I'm looking at that same hole, and I'm like, it's going to take me about, maybe 3 hits to get to the green, maybe. So it's different approaches. And the thing is you're talking about, all right, do I want to be more risky and try to go for it? Or is it worth taking a little more time, taking an extra swing?
Exactly.
And still getting there? I'm going to get there eventually, but maybe it takes an extra swing. But I get there in a way that I'm comfortable with too. So that's in itself really cool to think about.
And that's the thing. So like if you start playing outside of yourself, outside of your skill set, you're only going to bring in more potential trouble, right? So it's knowing your limits, not to say you can't push your limits, but knowing like, am I capable of doing this? And once it gets to a point where hey, there's probably like a 1 in 1,000 chance that I pull this off, it's probably not worth it, So, and that's really how I looked at that golf course. Even the other course that we played, I was trying to, they didn't have as much information. So I was a little bit more blind, but even with that, Like I have a general rule of if a par four is a certain yardage or under, I don't need to hit a driver off the tee.
Right.
I'm going to hit some. I mean, yeah, it benefits you because you can hit it down there further, but you start bringing other things into play of like, usually the way courses are designed, the further you hit it out, the more trouble starts to come into play.
Mm-hmm.
So then those are holes that you can kind of lay back to a conservative shot. And then Tiger Woods always said that there is when it comes to golf, it was aggressive swings to conservative targets. So if you think about that, that's why he was like the greatest to ever play.
Yeah.
Like he was always in control of what he was doing. So you can definitely put that into goal setting and getting after goals that you want to accomplish of, like we were just saying, like how aggressive can I be here, and being able to notice and recognize if, oh, maybe we're on the gas too much here.
Right.
And let's pedal it back a little bit. We're still going to get there, but let's make sure we're taking the appropriate steps to get there instead of just going in blind.
Yeah. Kind of thing. And so there's another thing in that planning piece that popped out of my mind as we're doing that early planning. You show up to the course and you're like, I already got my notes. I know what clubs I'm going to play on each hole.
Yeah, I did. It might have been a little bit too like golf hardo there. Like we were sitting the night before and at dinner, and I'm just like looking through my notes, and one of the guys was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I'm just looking at my notes for tomorrow." And he was like, "It's like, you want me to share them?" And it was the yardage of each hole, the club I should hit off of each hole, or just at least an idea of what I wanted to do. So yeah, it might have been just for a casual fun round, but also I wanted to play good. The course was, like I said, amazing, and I wanted to first time seeing it. And I did. I think I birdied first 3 out of 4 coming out of the chute.
Yeah.
So,
but think about that. So you're going to play a course that you're excited to play.
Mm-hmm.
You're going after a goal that you're excited to pursue.
Yep.
It deserves that level of planning.
Absolutely.
So that's what stood out. That's one of the big pieces that stood out to me is like you took this round seriously, like you should take a goal seriously.
Yes.
You looked at the course, you watched some videos, like you learned from others who have gotten there to help you make that plan, like your business plan or whatever plan you want to prepare when you're starting to pursue a goal, and you made that plan. And that stood out to me as like, all right, like this is an exact correlation of how you should be taking your goal seriously, approaching it, and having a good plan in place to go into it.
Yeah. What's the saying? Was it plan to fail to plan? You plan to fail, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, and that's anything in life, really. Just across the board, it's just how much can you blame yourself if you didn't prepare for it? Yeah, probably. Yeah. And then you can look back on it. I do it with golf all the time. I'll play a hole and I'm like, gosh, that was so stupid of how I played that. Like I should have just did this. And then it's the same with any goal. It's like, did I really put in the thought and effort? Why did I fail? I probably didn't really look at this how I should have. Yeah. And so, hindsight's always 20/20, and really all you can do is just learn from that, and then hope that next hole or the next time you play that hole or whatever goal you're chasing, like, hey, let's kind of reevaluate and get this a more solid plan to achieve it.
Oh yeah, 100%. So that touches on the planning, the initial phase. We're looking at a goal, like we're looking at the game of golf. We show up, we've got the plan. Now you tee off and it doesn't always go as you planned, or there's something that you didn't see or like maybe recognize. So tell me about that. Now we show up with the plan.
Now it's executing it.
Now it's time to actually take action.
Yeah.
So like in the 5-step process of goaltending, you don't get to action until step 3, and that's when you actually start working toward the plan. So this is where we are now. And now we've got the plan in place. We show up. It's time to execute. We've got the big goal of all 18 holes.
Yeah.
And you're taking it one hole at a time.
Yeah.
So talk about that and how you approach, the first hole or two, and then how things change in your plan along the way.
Yeah. For me, it's I kind of listen to my body first off. I'm getting older. So if my back isn't popping on the first couple practice swings, I probably need to stretch a little bit more and make sure I'm loosened up. But no, it's like you said, it is one hole at a time. And I would even break it down even into one shot at a time.
Yep.
Because if you start getting so ahead of yourself of you're too far out ahead that you can't focus on the now of what you're being asked to do in this golf shot, or even the first hole. Like, it was just severely downhill, and I hit it in the weeds over on the right. Like, first tee shot, I was like, "Oh, great, off to a great start," But then, that shot's over with, and there's no sense. And I used to be really bad about this in junior golf. Is I held on to stuff for so long. And I think now if there was a time machine, I could take my mental game in golf now and go back to high school golf. It would be, awesome just to have that mental fortitude to be able to keep pushing forward. But you can't hold on to stuff that's already done and over with. Now it's okay. Like I said, that first hole, now I'm in the weeds. I'm like, okay, so now what can I do to get down there back in play?
Yeah.
And it's, for me, I literally walked 150 yards up into the fairway to see where it was safe to land.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think when you're trying to build a good golf round, there's definitely momentum. So you hit a good golf shot, and then there's the feel of that shot, and it's focusing what did I do in that swing that got me to that result?
Yeah.
For me, it's usually tempo, swinging more smooth than trying to hit the ball hard. I think a lot of amateur golfers do that. They just try and kill it, and too many things are going wrong. You got a ball that's 1.8 inches in diameter, and you're trying to swing it 100 miles an hour and square up a club face. And, if it's off a millimeter, it's gone,
Yeah.
So that itself, it's a very tough game to play. But as far as building around, like I said, it's momentum. It's not getting too far ahead of yourself, and keeping that confidence of I know I can do this. And then you just build off that each hole. If you look at each hole as a building block to get to the ultimate end goal of having a good round. I would never look at a start a round and say, oh, this is what I need to shoot. It's more if anything, I would break it down into a 3-hole stretch. Where do I want to be after 3 holes? And then we're going to reset the next 3 holes. So it's just taking your overall goal, breaking it down into smaller little goals. And then from that, how do I get to those small little goals? Because in the end, all those small goals will build up to that.
They're going to get you there.
Yeah.
So it's 100% setting milestones or micro goals along the way. You know where you want to be, backwards plan from it. So it's all right, I know where I want to be at 18. To get there, I've got to do X, Y, Z.
And I
got to be able to break it down to.
Yeah, I like that backwards to forwards because, for me, if I step up on a hole and I can see where the pin is, I'm going to play the hole from the green back to me, teeing off. And it's, if I can see where the flag is, and it's a back left pin location, well, I know that my tee shot needs to probably favor more of the right. Yeah. So I'll have a better angle into it. So, and it's taking all the details you can, using that information, and then going from there on how you're going to execute getting to there.
Now, there's a piece within what you were saying that I think is really important to draw out too. And that was, if I could go back with the mentality, the mindset that I have now to high school, I would have approached completely different. And a piece of that, and a point that we discussed before this that you made in your awesome notes list, has to do with that, you being your competitor in the game of golf, right? So talk about that, and that how you're competing against yourself, not only at golf, but in the game of life.
Yeah. So golf is just any other sport out there, football, hockey, basketball, baseball, they're team sports, and you're contributing to a team. Now, granted, in golf, when you're playing in high school or college, you're part of a team, your score counts towards the team. But at the end of the day, like, it's you out there. It's you and your clubs, and you're chasing this silly white ball around, and you're trying to navigate it the best you can. But you have to play your own game. You can't let outside. There's already too many variables in the game of golf, like wind, rain, longer grass in the rough or sand. There's too many other variables for you to worry about the guy that's playing with you in your group. Like, that's just it should be a non-factor. But you can only improve your own score. And with life, you're going to have you'll have that personal growth by improving yourself. So it's kind of, my favorite quote is comparison is the thief of joy. Yeah. So if you're comparing yourself to what others are doing, the moves that they're making, you're distracting yourself of what you could be doing. Yeah. And it's the same in golf. You could start off I know I'm not going to have a good round usually if I birdie the first hole. I really do. I prefer to go ahead and make my bogey, and move on. It's some of the best rounds I've ever had have come from coming back from that, your back's up against the wall type feeling. But you're going to distract yourself in life and in golf if you're comparing your game to other people's games. It's all about, now you can learn from them, those other people that you're playing with or that you're friends with or you're associated with. You can absolutely learn, take notes. You should. Yeah. And I always encourage, especially my junior golfers that I used to teach, go play with the better kids. Go see how they're navigating and what they're doing. And, do they have a pre-shot in your team before they hit a ball? If you watch TV, those pros on TV, they do the same thing every time before they approach a ball. And they don't get to that ball until they're fully prepared to execute what they're trying to do. So surround yourself with better people, but at the same time, you can't be too hard on yourself if they're a little bit further along in their journey than where you are. Yep. But you can definitely take notes and learn from them and let that guide you, let that motivate you too. Yeah. To get better, put the work in.
Absolutely. There's a million great takeaways in that. One of the things that just stood out to me is the different variables, how technical the game of golf is. So there's a ton of variables that are outside of your control. Yeah. And you have to approach each shot focusing on what you do have control of. And so when I'm thinking about goals, we're talking about life. Yeah. In life, there are even more variables and more things that are outside of your control. And all you can do is focus on what you can plan for and what you do have control over. Things are going to happen. You can make a plan to go after a business and there may be unexpected expenses. Yeah. There may be life circumstances. You could lose a friend or a relative, a parent that you didn't expect for that to happen. And now there's other factors, emotional things, financial things, any kind of variable that's going to be thrown at you, and you have to be able to adapt, adjust, move forward based on whatever variables are thrown at you. Yeah. And so that's a incredible relation point that just stood out to me. So we're in execution. Now we've talked about, breaking it down, micro goals, one at a time. One of the things that I haven't really drawn out, but that has been mentioned, you've actually brought it up multiple times. I talk about it as the last step of goaltending, but it's a step that you do throughout the entire process, and that's review and refine. Yeah. And so you've mentioned that after each shot, after each hole, after each round, you should be constantly reviewing and refining and learning from whatever happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Golf is such an imperfect game. It's the one, you can master your free throws and master how to, throw a spiral and in football, but golf is it's a game that can't be perfected. The best round, there's this book that was called Swing 54, Vision 54. And essentially it's if you were to birdie every hole, you would shoot 54. Great mental book if you're wanting a book to read on the mental side of golf. But the whole premise behind it is that you can't perfect it.
Mm-hmm.
So in that, you have to have like the patience to accept when you're making bad swings. And like, I've been through so many ruts in golf of like it. I say it all the time. It's just I have a love-hate relationship with it, because I know what I can do, and then if I'm not necessarily meeting my expectations, but I know the very next week it could just turn back around. And it's having that patience. You can't rush. You can't rush like a good shot in golf. It takes time and setup and being calm. Because our emotions, just like in life, our emotions kind of can dictate how we react to things.
Yeah.
So, if I'm coming off like a triple bogey, like that next hole, my first initial thought was like, I'm going to hit this ball so hard. I'm going to absolutely just swing for the fences,
Yeah.
But then, let's pause a little bit. Let's bring our game plan back into play here, and let's not make any rash decisions. So, in life, you got your life goals, your relationships, personal growth, all of that requires patience too. And I think that correlation between golf and life, and being like, patience is such an important thing across anything that you do in life. And jumping to like rash decisions without kind of taking, just what you were saying earlier, take all the information in, let's make an informed decision.
Right.
And I think patience really plays into how you can navigate that. For sure.
I really like that you talked about emotion, because when we start pursuing a goal, especially when it's further out, emotion is going to impact us throughout the journey in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Like when you first start pursuing a goal, you're super excited. Like you're probably feeling a little bit happier. You're going toward the unknown. So there's also probably a little bit of anxiousness, like anxiety.
Yeah.
A lot of emotions just there in the start. But then as we throw in those life variables, you're going to ride a roller coaster of emotions. There's going to be ups and downs. Just
can
like,
I do this?
Yeah.
Doubt, self-talk is such a big thing. It's like my junior career playing golf was just that's what I was saying, if I could go back, because like I was such a just negative person in the golf course. And I'll never forget, like I was playing around with my dad, and I had like a bad wedge shot or whatever, and I turned around and launched my wedge like back down the fairway, just through a club. And I got in the cart for him to like drive me back there to get it, and he was like, "Nope, you can go get it. I'll meet you at the green." So then I was like walking 80 yards the wrong way, had to get it, and then walk all the way to the green. And it was just more like, think about this,
Right.
And it's funny because like he gets upset with himself and stuff, and I've told him like, Dad, you're not good enough to be this mad at this game. And it's understanding where you're at in the game of, is this worth the energy? Like I'm not playing professional tournaments anymore. Like I've really reshifted my focus on golf of just enjoying the time. I take my son out, daughter out, wife out, to just enjoy that time with them around a game that I love, because there's so many things you can learn through golf too, especially like I want to teach my son, the integrity side of the game. Like we're not going to lie. We're going to write down the correct score. Like in golf, you have to play the ball as it lies there on the grass. There's no moving it, and there's no taking shortcuts. It's like, this is what you have. Let's face it and push through it. So yeah, it's, there's definitely a lot of things you can learn through golf, especially like teaching a young child and everything too. So
play the ball as it lies. Like life is going to give you different things, and you got to play whatever it hands you. And also, you just brought up like how serious you take it, right? How serious do you want to take life? You know what I mean? Like really, we can enjoy our lives. You know what I mean? We should enjoy our lives. So if you're taking everything way too serious, you're missing out on the enjoyment and the fulfillment that's there in the journey for you.
Yeah, and I think honestly too, if you're taking if you take really anything to, you're probably getting in your own way at some point too,
Yeah.
right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you're just kind of hindering yourself of the fun you could be having. You're probably blinded by maybe other opportunities around that because you're so narrow
Mm-hmm.
minded in on one thing.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing to be like laser focused in on a goal, but you also have to have that thought process around it of, am I missing anything?
Yeah.
You get too zoned in on something, you could be missing little details that could make it better
Mm-hmm.
or make you enjoy it more, I would say.
Right.
Yeah.
Good point. We've gone through a round.
Yeah.
When you get to the end of the round, you either exceeded, reached, or fell short of whatever goal you set
Mm-hmm.
for that round. Like, what is next from there? So I think of like people reach, like, pursue a goal,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually they get to a point where they either did better than they thought they were going to do, they reached that goal, or they fell short or kind of failed at that goal.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked about the review and refine process, but what does it look like in the game of golf now that I've finished this round? What's next after you reached the goal, whether you fell short, exceeded, or reached?
um I'd say if you excelled or reached your goal for that round of golf, it would be, what did I do right? How did I set myself up to achieve what I wanted to?
Mm-hmm.
Um, in even looking back on it, or were there other things that I could have even done better that maybe I would have excelled even more?
Yeah.
As far as not reaching it, did I prepare? Was I fully prepared to do that?
Yeah.
You know, and like we were saying earlier, it's not just about all 18 holes; it's all the way down to the single shot. Um, and this isn't going to apply to everybody. A lot of people are just casual golfers, and um, it's not that deep.
Mm-hmm.
But if you start looking at like the really good players, um, a lot of it comes down to preparation on how they're gonna get ready for everything. So like your really good guys they're practicing. Like when I was a lot better than I am now, it was I was playing 4 or 5 times a week, and I was
Mm-hmm.
practicing 6 days a week. I would take Sundays off, and that was it.
Yep.
So I would go play around the golf after classes. I would go to the driving range straight after,
Mm-hmm.
and they would have lights. It was like you hit golf balls at night and everything, and I would be there until the lights shut off every day.
There you go.
So it's Ben Hogan is a all-time golfer legend, but he said that the proof was in the dirt. So to me, that is, you can tell when I would go and play tournaments, you could tell the guys that were there to play.
Mm-hmm.
So we're from Kentucky. So funny story, I used to play on a junior Pepsi tour.
Mm-hmm.
And Justin Thomas is from the Louisville area, and he's younger than I am, but he also played on this junior Pepsi tour.
Okay.
And he was a different age division than me, and it would be 95 heat with heat index of like over 100 degrees.
Yeah.
And we're out there playing in shorts, and he was like the one kid who'd show up in pants. And like he, from that young age, he already saw himself. Like he dressed like the professionals on TV.
Yeah.
He practiced like them. And he was like, almost like envisioning that, like willing that.
Right.
And now, he's multiple time major winner,
Yeah.
like he's, so I think you can, like envision that. Even like when golf, like I always try to, if I'm standing behind a shot, I try to envision what that shot is going to look like, or what that putt, like I need to make this putt. I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to envision like, this is what I'm seeing, how it's going in.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you can do that a lot in goal setting too, is like, let's envision what it looks like when we get to that goal. And then, like you said earlier, when you're playing a golf hole, you play it back to front.
Mm-hmm.
And so here's where we are. What are those little steps that I can envision to get there too?
Yeah. let's money goals.
Mm-hmm.
If I look at a millionaire or a billionaire and I
Mm-hmm.
look at their money habits and I compare them to my current money habits,
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably notice differences.
Yeah.
So what you just said stood out to me because you were talking about Justin Thomas saw himself
Mm-hmm.
and started emulating behaviors that he saw in people that were already great.
Yep.
So when you want a goal, when there is something that you're pursuing, let's say I want to be a millionaire, I can look at other millionaires.
Mm-hmm.
I can say these are habits that are doing and have done
Mm-hmm.
that got them to that point. If I want to be there, I can emulate those behaviors
Yeah.
until the point that I reach that same place.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, a lot of people have already kind of laid the groundwork, right?
Yeah.
You can almost like not everybody's always be in the same like financial situation to where they can, you know, do it exactly the same. But a lot of that, man, you can copy and paste and adjust to like what you're able to do,
Yeah.
and then from there, build and build and build.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's definitely there's stepping stones that you can follow of other very successful people, and it's like, if it works for them, like there's
Right.
probably a reason it worked for them, right?
Yeah.
And there's a reason that they can keep continuing to build and build and build. They're just essentially taking their own formula, copy and paste it.
It's there.
So yeah, it's there. It's there for sure.
There's something I like that Dave Ramsey says too in relation to the money piece. Just using that as an example though, because it correlates to other goals. But he says like you shouldn't take money advice from your broke friends.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
You've got people who are like telling you things you should do or habits you should do, or you're emulating habits of people that you associate with or that are around you.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're not in the position that you want to be, and you're emulating those same habits and behaviors, you're gonna continue to be where you are.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So when you're looking at that goal, you can't compare yourself to the people that are already where you are. You have to look at and work toward adjusting habits to the people that are where you want to be already. That's who you take advice from.
Yeah, absolutely. Like never be the smartest person in the room.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's with really anything. If you want to start a business, if you want to, start building more wealth, or you want to get more into fitness or eat better or whatever that is,
Right.
like seek out the knowledge, and that's what I was saying back to, like, I always told my younger kids, like, go find the guys who are doing it.
Yeah.
And play with them. And yeah, you might embarrass yourself at the beginning, but you're going to pick up stuff without even knowing it. You're going to pick up stuff to improve. So, and then it comes back to this practicing it, right? Like you can go and do these things, but if you're not consistent in the work that you need to put in, like, can you really blame anybody but yourself if you're not where you want to be?
It's you versus you, right?
Yeah, it is you versus you. Yep.
I think of people early on in life choosing to pursue a career path, and there's different ways that can go. There's a lot of people who decide that they want to pursue a career because of how it sounds, and they never talk to somebody in that career field.
Yeah.
Or like take the time to try to learn from somebody who's already done it. I've seen it a ton of times. There's also people who did have somebody to learn from, or were at least able to connect with someone in that career field and get a mentor.
Yeah.
I'm going to say majority of the time, those people are going to be way more successful and fulfilled in the path that they chose because they knew what they were getting themselves into when they chose it.
Yeah.
So I just think that's a great point to point out. Now, what I want to do, you made an awesome list of 10 correlations between golf and life. We've hit on a lot of them just through conversation, right? They've been drawn out. I want you to pick up the phone. I want to go through and give you all 10 correlations that Ben came up with between golf and life. I want you all to walk away from this episode, start to implement, think about these things, share these with a friend, hit 1 through 10.
All right. So, like, Well, so we've talked about a few of them just in conversation here, but number one is patience is power. So
Mm.
in golf, you can't rush the good shot. Takes the time, setup, and being calm. Talked about that earlier with the emotions and how you can't let your negative emotions overtake what you know you can do. And
Yeah.
same with life, your success and your relationships with anyone you come across, business, friend, marriage, all of that. You get your emotions out of place, and
Yeah.
I know from from personal experience, you talk out of emotion sometimes, and
Yeah.
it can affect some things.
Hmm.
Number two was every shot counts, but one shot does not define you.
Mm.
So for me, this is what I was saying earlier with I can go off of and have a bad hole, but that doesn't mean that by the end of that round that it's going to be a bad round. And
Right.
it's being able to forget about that one thing that you did that kind of
Yeah.
messed up that hole. Same in life. I mean, no one is perfect. Everyone makes mistakes,
Hmm.
but if you dwell on that mistake,
Oh yeah.
you're setting yourself up for future just probably more failure, right?
Yeah.
So we got to be able to move on from that.
And nobody's perfect in life. There's just a
Yeah,
small elaboration on that of if you were defined or characterized or judged by the biggest mistake you've ever made
yeah,
in life, like
yeah,
then everybody would be terrible people.
yeah. I think it's resilience matters more
Yeah.
than that mistake. It's like, what can I learn? How can I push on
Hmm.
and learn from it? Let's see. Three, you compete against yourself. So we were saying earlier, golf is
Hmm.
just such an individual game. Same in life. Granted, there's difference in life because you can have your spouse or loved one or whoever you're
Right.
journeying through life with. But personal growth, it comes from improving yourself and not comparing yourself to others. So I was saying comparison is the thief of joy. I'm
Yeah.
never gonna be able to go on my own journey if I'm constantly worried about my surroundings and what other people are doing better than me. It's same in golf. You got to keep track of your own score and not worry about what
Yeah.
else is going on. Like I said, there's already too many other variables in golf to worry about
Yeah.
than what everybody else is doing in the game.
Yeah.
Let's see. We talked about this. Preparation matters. So it's the practice to improve. Practicing with a purpose, I think, is
Mm.
the biggest thing.
Mm.
When I
Good
would
point.
when I was doing lessons, I would say, hey, we would really just focus on such a small, minute thing. And it would be like, hey, I want you to go to the range and I want you to only hit these like punch shots because I was getting them to an impact position that I wanted them at.
Yeah.
Only hit punch shots. And then next week, did you get to the range? Yeah, I did those punch shots for like, kind of warming up. And then I just started hitting full shots and I'm hitting it all over the place again. And it's like, you didn't do what I said.
You
We're
didn't stick
trying
to the
to,
plan.
exactly. So you have to practice with a purpose. The same in life. You have to have those little things that are going to result in bigger things,
Hmm.
right? So when you start, if you know what you need to do, but then you start to stray from it, like we said earlier, like who's that really on?
Yeah.
If you create the goal, create the plan, and prepare for what you want to do.
Yeah.
Next would be adaptability. So this is what we were saying earlier with all the variables in golf is
Yeah.
like your wind, your rain. Um, when I come up to a shot, like I can literally look at the golf ball and how it's sitting in the grass. I can tell you how that's going to affect the flight of it.
Mm.
If it's a downhill lie and you're kind of lean one way, it's going to come out lower. So you need to take less club because it's going to come out flighted better. Or if
Okay.
it's on an uphill lie, you need to take more club because you're going to add loft and it's going to go higher.
Yeah.
And that's just the grass. Now let's talk about the wind.
Yeah.
Where's
Yeah.
it going? What when you get to the greens, is there grain in it? Is there like there's so many other things in golf. But with life, plans don't always work out. So being able to adapt, like you were saying earlier, it's like stuff gets thrown at you.
Hmm.
All right, so how can we take that information, process it, move on? What's might have to reevaluate our original plan, but let's just make a couple edits. We can still get there. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Focusing on the present. This is a big one for me. And this is what I was saying earlier. I always struggled with as a junior golfer is taking what's in front of me and only focusing on that.
Yeah.
So we're saying like, it's not about the whole round. It's what's in front of you right now. How can I be? And it comes back to that preparation, that practice. You know, you can hit a great tee shot right down the middle, and then you're in a divot where someone else has already hit. And you got to play that. You got to play that as it lies, right?
Yeah.
But focusing on that present and not worrying about, you know, what if this, you know, if this doesn't go right, it's going to just, let's focus in on what we're doing now and work on what we can control.
Yes.
Integrity. Such a big thing in golf. You got there, when I was playing high school golf, we had this kid, and I don't know what it was. He wasn't very truthful about the scores he shot.
Right.
And we had this running joke that the sharpest wood in his bag was his pencil, not his driver, not his 3-wood, because he would do this and we'd go out and play these practice rounds, kind of like qualifying rounds to see who's going to play in the match against a different school.
Yeah.
And he wanted to play so bad, but he would like fib on some scores and we would see him. We're like, you didn't make that, you know? So integrity didn't have it.
Yeah.
And then it came back, you know, like backfires on him in a match where, you know, he's supposed to be shooting around this score and it's way off from that because, you know, when you play a golf match, someone else is keeping your score. They're watching everything you're doing. So having that integrity, like in the long run, it's going to play off so much better. Like there's been tournaments that I've played in, I've called penalties on myself because I know that like you go to address the ball and it moves. It's a stroke, man.
Yeah.
You know, so in integrity in golf and in life, it's like I was saying earlier, it's such a big thing for kids. Golf is such a good game for kids to pick up because there's a lot of, they learn the patience, they learn how to control their emotions, they learn that they don't have total control of everything that's going on in the golf course, being truthful. There's just so many things that kids can learn from golf. And then as they get older, especially in those developmental years, that, hey, this is kind of like, you know, what it's like playing golf.
On that integrity piece too, I like that you mentioned how it impacts people around you. Like, first off, people's perception of you.
Yes.
Like it impacts, like, if you're willing to fib on that, what else will you fib on?
Exactly.
Now I can't trust you.
Yeah.
That impacts your relationships in life.
Yeah.
It also impacts your trust and confidence in yourself. And so I thought that was a cool point.
Yeah. And then even with that too, it kind of like, I guess could probably send you down a road that you don't want to be down. Like, oh, I lied about it before. No one found out last time, you know?
Yeah.
And then like you were saying, like once that truth does come out,
yeah,
how many times have they done this? You know? Let's see. Sometimes you have to play it safe. So we were talking about this earlier with like drivable par 4. Is it worth that risk? Is it better just to kind of lay back?
Yeah.
It's taking a risky shot over water. It might cost you the extra strokes. Whereas if you lay over, stay away from that unneeded risk, we're still going to get to that goal.
Yeah.
Right. You might be able to get there in one shot, but if you don't pull that off, you know, so it's okay to play it safe in golf and in life. You know, boldness is valuable, but knowing when to take calculated risk is wisdom.
Right.
Yeah. This is probably my favorite. Enjoy the walk. Golf is so frustrating, but if you take a step back from how frustrating the game can be, you're outdoors, you're in nature, you know, you got a cool breeze, you're hanging out with your buddies, whoever you're playing with. You know, life, you can get caught up and you can get so one track minded in life that you just don't take a minute to look around and enjoy what you have. My wife sent me this video a couple weeks ago that really kind of hit home. And it was another wife talking about, she said her husband said, if younger me saw this household and this life right now, he would think we were rich. And that really hit home because, you know, we can get so caught up in the day to day of life that, like I said, we don't take a minute to kind of look around and appreciate what we do have.
Yeah.
So that really hit home because I felt the same. It was like, man, like little kid me would love this, love this life that my kids are having now. So don't take it for granted. Don't get, like I said, it's important to focus on your goals and life and everything, but don't let it consume you. Make sure you can still appreciate, waking up every day, getting to see your family, your kids, you have this blessing of life. So, just enjoy it.
That ties to really one of the primary premises of the podcast of finding fulfillment in the journey. If we get so caught up on the goals themselves, on the things that we're trying to achieve, we lose sight of everything that's important along the way.
Yeah. Everything that got us there, all the support that we had going into that, you can't let it, like I said, it's important to stay focused on it, but don't let it fully consume you to where you're forgetting who you are and where you came from and what helped get you to where you are now to be able to go after that,
Exactly.
Okay. And then last, like I said, golf is a silly game and you will never master it. You can never be perfect at it. But there's always room for improvement. That's why you see the pros out there practicing so much. They got swing coaches, they got physiotherapists, they got everything, because they know there's always a piece that can be improved on.
Yeah.
They could be the number one player in the world, but they're like Scotty Scheffler right now. He is still out there grinding. He is not complacent.
Yeah.
So that's the same with life. You can always find something that you can do just a little, 1% each day, 1% better.
There was a quote that I really liked. It was from one of Mark Manson's books, but he said something along the lines of and this isn't verbatim, but it was like, what makes people who achieve greatness, what makes them great is knowing that they're not already great.
Yeah.
You have to know and accept that you're not already there. And then be willing to do the work to improve and constantly improve. And that's how people become great. Never perfect, but great.
Find that fire. You know? Yeah. I think there's something within everybody in this world that, I think maybe some people don't want to find that in themselves, but I know everyone has potential in this world to do something.
Yeah.
I truly believe that. And it's just a matter of willpower and if you want to do it. Some people are scared of the work.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What's that, Kevin Hart? He's like, everybody want to be famous, nobody wants to put the work. Right?
That's it.
That's what it is. So yeah.
All right. Hey, this has been an absolute blast. We want to have a little more fun. First, before we get into the extra fun, is there anything else that you want to share? Any last points, anything that stands out or that I didn't ask or that you think maybe we missed that's a good correlation?
No, I would say if you're a parent and you're wanting to get your children into the game of golf, there's so many great programs, like PGA Junior League. I would reach out to your local golf professional, see if they have a PGA Junior League. It's a great thing. I wish I would have started playing golf a lot younger. I didn't start till I was like 13, but I think there's so many valuable things. It's fun. And hey, even in the summer, it's kind of like free daycare too, because they'll do like camps and stuff for you, but they're also learning skills and it's a very enjoyable game. Golf is one of those things you can play. It's not overly physical and like hard on your body. I mean, you can play it till you're 100. So, I mean, there's a lot of benefits in it, health, mental, all of that stuff. And it's challenging. So I would just say, if any parents or anything want to get their kids involved, I would reach out to, your local PGA professional and get them going.
Oh yeah. All right. Now we're going to have some fun. Yeah. So Ben and I are going to do a chip shot challenge. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to chip shot marshmallows into our wives' mouths. So we're going to take this on the road. I'm going to plug it in right here. All right, team. We're all set up for the chip shot challenge. Let's go. And I just want to say first, Ben, thanks for taking the time.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, man. It's something, really the thing is we could go on, I could talk about golf all day.
Yeah.
So I was trying not to get too into the weeds on certain aspects of it, but yeah, we could talk for, we could have an 8-hour podcast about golf if you wanted to, but no, thanks for having me. It was very enjoyable. So yeah, it was great.
Absolutely. So thank you for taking the time again. Thank you all for tuning in, allowing us to be a part of your journey. Now you got to go like it, subscribe. First off, tag a friend who either loves golf or can learn some great lessons from the correlations that we tied today. Make sure you all go comment to join the conversation, and let's grow.